we are not going to be able to break that curve if we don't do something.
If we want to flatten the curve, more people need to wear a face covering. That's the message from Dr. Bob Lutz as coronavirus cases continues to surge in Spokane.
Meantime, students in Idaho can expect to have in-person classes in the fall. We'll break down the new guidelines issued today.
Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward issuing her first ever veto allowing downtown businesses to keep so-called mosquito devices.
He was always the first one to offer to teach kids to fly, or if anyone was in a bind and needed some help.
And we now know the identity of the sixth person killed in the mid-air collision over Lake Coeur d'Alene. How those close to him are remembering the beloved pilot, friend, and father.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for staying up late with us here tonight. I'm Regina On.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. 3 days after a deadly mid-air collision above Lake Coeur d'Alene, the search continues for two of the victims, and it certainly hasn't been easy for searchers.
It's fatiguing. It hurts your eyes. They're out there for long hours.
For the third full day, the sheriff's office went back out on the water looking for two more people. The sonar team has found 6 victims so far. Authorities believe there are no survivors in that crash. Crews are also working to map the crash scene. That way they have a better idea of where the two planes are in the lake. And we have now learned the identity of a 6th person killed in that plane crash in Idaho over the weekend. Jay Cawley was aboard the Cessna that collided with the seaplane mid-air. Cawley was a professional pilot and a huge aviation advocate. Our Casey Decker spoke with one of his longtime friends earlier this week.
Jay's been flying his entire life. It's the only job he's ever had. He's probably the best Cessna, the best anything pilot that I know, to be honest with you.
Jay Cawley and Gary Peters met through their shared love for flying. They're both part of Hangar 180, an aviation group and museum in Lewiston. The friends had a particular passion for World War-era planes.
He was so responsible for keeping aviation and history alive.
This weekend, the group was flying around the inland Northwest to share some of those planes with the public, doing what they loved most. But the trip ended in tragedy.
Unfortunately, kind of in the aviation world, it can take you to the highest of highs and it can take you to the lowest of lows very quickly. And that's exactly what happened this weekend. We were absolutely at the highest of our high after Saturday, being able to share the aircraft with the region and having no problems to speak of, and everybody was safe. And we were just I was so proud of everyone and the effort and the job we did. And then, you're just on cloud 9, then you come down here and as soon as you land, you learn this, and it just takes the wind out of your sails pretty fast.
Peter said when he landed, he'd heard there'd been some type of plane crash. At first, they weren't sure who was involved, but they soon found out.
Someone saw the in number of the plane, and of course, I immediately recognized it and just about fell to our knees. Of course, you're just immediately praying for them and their families. It's just, it's tough.
Jay's death, an immense loss, and not only to close friends and family.
Huge blow to the aviation community. He was always the first one to offer to teach kids to fly, or if anyone was in a bind and needed some help. Just an amazing giver.
Gary says he's lost friends to crashes before. It doesn't get easier, but it helps to be surrounded by others who loved Jay and the planes he devoted his life to.
We've been down this road before, unfortunately, and it's the support you have of your friends and family, and we had all our aviation group with us yesterday, and so we were just able to get together and lean on each other.
Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
And tonight, the daughter of Jay Cawley also posted on Facebook remembering her father. She said, quote, "I so badly wish you were still here. You were a great dad. You taught me to ride a bicycle, to fly, to keep going when times got tough, to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to solve problems, to help out strangers in need, and how to reach out and be a good listener. You always had such high standards for us all to live up to, and I love and miss you so much." This story is still developing. To follow the story and receive live updates on that plane crash, just text the word crash to 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link with the latest information and updates in the case. All right, Regina, today Spokane Regional Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz says he's concerned that people are not taking coronavirus precautions seriously.
That is right, Mark. Lutz says since Memorial Day, or when Spokane went into phase 2, the region has continued to see a rise in coronavirus cases, and that increase in more cases in the county is not due to more testing, Dr. Lutz says. So if we're doing more testing, we wouldn't see an increased positivity rate. He further explained that there is a concerning amount of community spread cases.
It's going to take time. So right now our progression is such that if we intervene now, and again the modeling has shown that we need 80 to 90% of people to be wearing these face coverings to really have an impact. I can tell you this past weekend we did a survey across the community and we had over 700 observations, and about 65% of individuals are wearing face coverings. That's a great place to be. I want to see it up around 80 or 90%.
So with that, let's break down some numbers in Spokane to see that trend that Dr. Lutz is talking about. Well, new today, Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 58 confirmed coronavirus cases. No new deaths have been reported. Currently, there are 38 hospitalizations. And here is a graph where you can see the number of new COVID-19 cases. And you can see right around the beginning of June is when we start to see those numbers slowly increase. May 22nd was when Spokane went into phase 2. And from there, you can really see those numbers and those dots go up. Don't forget, there is a 2-week incubation period of when someone is exposed to infection. Then here you can see those new Spokane numbers and new hospitalization numbers. You'll see the new coronavirus numbers continue to rise, and there are a couple of spikes that you see there in the beginning of June. But those new hospitalization numbers are fairly low each day, so that is a little bit of good news there. As of today, there are a total of 1,846 cases. 40 people have died, 149 total hospitalizations. So like Dr. Lutz says, we definitely should take this seriously as it could impact how soon Spokane will move on to the next phase. He also added today, it's one of the most selfless things we can do to help ourselves and each other by wearing a face covering. All right, let's switch gears now to weather. Meteorologist Michelle Boz joining us live from her home. So Michelle, it's almost a weekend. Are we possibly going to see some 80s and 90s going into this weekend?
We are going to finally warm up. It has certainly been a cool July. If we take a look at some statistics I've put together, the last 7 out of 8 days in July have seen below average temperatures. So we've seen a lot more 70s than we've seen 80s. Our average high right now is 81, 82 degrees. We have not seen any 90s at the Spokane airport. I believe downtown Spokane Valley has probably hit 90 already, but not at the airport. And right now, we do not have any 90s in the forecast for Spokane. That's for the next 7 days. If we take a look at highs today, you might not even know it was July. 68 in Sandpoint, 73 in Spokane, and even in the hotter spots of the state, the Tri-Cities, Moses Lake, temperatures were only in the low to mid 80s. We do get to enjoy clear skies out there and some comfortable nights, and we'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Here's how it looks for the next 12 hours. Clear skies, temperatures bottoming out in the upper 40s and lower 50s, and we will be making it back up into the upper 70s tomorrow. So again, a little bit below average. Slight chance for a shower late tomorrow evening and overnight, less than 20% chance. And then Friday, sunshine again, 78, the hottest day of the week coming on Saturday. Still don't think we're going to hit 90. Looks like a high around 87.
Looks good. Thanks so much, Michelle. Well, developing here tonight, a Spokane police officer is being charged with 2 counts of vehicular assault. According to SPD, Officer Michael Brunner was driving northbound on Lincoln Street while on duty when he collided with someone crossing east to west. Their car then hit a nearby parked car. This happened back in March. Washington State Patrol conducted this investigation, and SPD referred to the crash as an injury collision, but didn't say how many were injured or the extent of their injuries. Brunner has been placed on administrative leave. He's scheduled to appear in court on July 15th. Now to fire alerts in our area. The Saddle Mountain fire near Mattawa has burned nearly 8,000 acres as of this morning. The fire is 90% contained, according to the Southeast Washington Interagency Incident Management Team. That cause is still under investigation. Well, fire crews are also working to put out a fire in Okanogan County that's burned more than 500 acres. The state DNR tweeted that the fire started yesterday just above Omak and is now being called the Pothole Fire. As of last night, crews were continuing to build on secured lines. They're also mopping up and putting out those hot spots.
In other top stories tonight, it is day 2 of the statewide no mask, no service mandate. The challenge some businesses are facing is people taking advantage of the rules, saying they have medical conditions when they really don't, and that puts restaurants in a tough spot.
I don't want to be perceived as discriminating, not being compassionate, that you have an illness, that you may require some special assistance.
Some businesses are calling on the state to provide more support for fake claims. That way they don't have to police while also trying to run their business. Meanwhile, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward has issued her first veto. She rejected an ordinance that would ban the use of so-called mosquito devices. They emit a high-pitched noise that can only be heard by people below a certain age. City Council banned them in public areas because of the effect that they can have on young people. All right, still ahead tonight, school guidelines slowly rolling out ahead of September. Up next, we break down what school in Idaho might look like coming up in the fall.